zanima me rad u ekonomiji, na primjer, ili u hotelu, menadžment i tako.
Revizor. Voljela bi da budem računovođa.
U budućnosti želim da se bavim programe, da budem i informatika.
Policijski inspektor.
Voljela bi se baviti pravom, tačnije voljela biti advokat.
Obzirom da sam student ekonomskog fakulteta, planiram da neki svoj vlastiti biznis osnujem posle fakulteta, naravno.
Laboratorijskim inženjerstvom.
U budućnosti bi se voljela iskreno baviti dječjom psihologijom, doduše što studiram psihologiju trenutno, ali nisam 100% sigurna još uvijek.
Inspektor.
Želim da osnujem firmu za pločasti i namještaj.
U budućnosti želim da se bavim nekim menadžmentom u nekoj firmi.
U budućnosti želim da se bavim turizmom.
Želim da budem stomatolog, odnosno protetičar.
A što da vam netko kaže da će za 10 ili 20 godina umjetna inteligencija i roboti preuzeti većinu poslova, vi nećete morati raditi, ali svejedno ćete imati dovoljno novca za sve. Raditi možete samo ako to baš želite, onako iz hobija. Ušteđevina, plaće, mirovina, svi ti pojmovi više neće imati značenje. Živjet ćemo u društvu obilja kakvo danas ne možete ni zamisliti. Taj netko koji predviđa takvu budućnost je Elon Musk. Jesu li to gluposti ili je takva utopijska budućnost stvarno moguća?
I don't know what's going to happen in 10 years, but the rate at which AI is progressing, I think we might have AI that is smarter than any human by the end of this year, and I would say no later than next year. Wow. And then probably by 2030 or 2031, call it 5 years from now, AI will be smarter than all of humanity collectively.
Knowledge is now worth zero.
How disruptive do you think AI is going to be?
It is the single greatest innovation of humanity ever. The only thing that comes close is probably the splitting of the atom. This is so big. Everything we've talked about is based on scarcity of knowledge. Why do lawyers get paid a lot? Scarcity of knowledge. Either scarcity of knowledge, scarcity of capital, those two things. What you've created is infinite knowledge. Knowledge is now worth zero. Not people that can't see it yet, but it's going to be worth zero. This is like water. It's going to break the entire economic model for good and for bad.
"2026 is going to be the last normal year in human history. Let me explain what I mean by this. If you go back just 50 years ago, a father would be able to tell his son, or a mother would be able to tell her daughter exactly how life was going to unfold, exactly what careers they might go into, exactly what degree they might choose. Life was predictable. This isn't the case anymore. Because of multiple technologies which are increasing at an exponential rate, synthetic biology, AI, quantum computing, our world is going through an immense period of change.
The tsunami of a lifetime is coming, and nothing your elders have seen is going to prepare. And every occupation that is named is over. I'm going to be a dentist, radiologist, accountant, teacher. These are all over. More or less, we're LLMs. More or less, we don't do a single intelligent thing all day long. And the reason that they're able to mimic us is because we don't realize that intelligence is a last resort for us. Because everything that we know how to do through education creates repetitive behaviors. We don't know how to educate for creativity and genius. We know how to educate for doing higher level things. So radiology is a great example. Radiologists are, some of the first in the crosshairs. I'm going to stare at some imaging and I'm going to say, I think that's a tumor. I think that's benign. And it's going to say, just give me all of these tokens. Like, well, they're x-rays, they're CAT scans. No, they're just tokens. But at some point, the AI just looks at the human and says, you're just holding me back. To the average person, I would say, get your board in the water and prepare to paddle like all get out.
Robots are stealing human jobs faster than anyone predicted, and 8 major industries just proved human workers are becoming completely obsolete. Waymo autonomous taxis are already serving 200,000 paid rides per week with 0 human drivers, while Amazon deployed 750,000 warehouse robots that sort packages faster and more accurately than any human worker. In China, robotic gas station attendants refuel cars without human help, and robot chefs trained on 5 million recipes are cooking restaurant-quality meals with perfect precision every single time. Boston Dynamics robots are now operating professional film cameras and performing backflips while capturing movie scenes, completely replacing human camera operators who spent decades mastering their craft. The most terrifying example is robots repairing high-voltage power lines because utility companies realize machines never get electrocuted, never fall, and never demand overtime pay or health insurance. These aren't prototypes or future concepts. Every single one of these robots is working right now, earning money for companies while human workers get laid off and replaced. From taxi drivers to warehouse workers to professional chefs, robots are proving they can do almost every job better, faster, and cheaper than the humans who used to do them.
I think the concern part of it is we've seen technological, disruptions before. People went from farming to, factories, and factories to knowledge work, and the computer and the internet caused lots of disruption. And, that caused disruption for a time, and then people adapted. My concern with AI is it's not different in kind, but the disruption is maybe deeper. It's coming at us faster, right? AI can do a wider range of things. My concern, as well as my excitement, is AI can do a wide variety of knowledge work. So, it can do entry-level law work. It can do entry-level finance. It can do entry-level consulting. And so my worry is exactly, if you're someone, kind of coming up in the world and just starting your career, AI is coming at multiple points, and it will make people a lot more productive. But I think, that we can't deny that it will also eliminate jobs and probably a large number of them.
Kompanija Japan Airlines testira humanoidne robote kao radnike na zemlji. Ova aviokompanija će u maju početi da koristi robote na aerodromu Haneda u Tokiju. U dvogodišnjem probnom periodu roboti kineske proizvodnje pomagat će pri utovaru i istovaru tereta, čime će se smanjiti opterećenje zaposlenih.
There's no language for what happens with the arrival of this. This is happening faster than our society, our democracy, our laws will address. And there's lots of implications. That's why it's underhyped. People do not understand what happens when you have intelligence at this level, which is largely free.
Ja nešto kontam, pa ne može se žaliti što ti AI uzima poslove ako ti AI završio fakultet za tebe i napisao ti disertaciju. Da je pravedno da AI uzme taj posao.
E sad, ko ti pomaže u karijernom usmjeravanju, odabiru zanimanja? Prema našem istraživanju, glavni izvor informacija za mlade su roditelji i porodica, 29%. Zatim tu je online, 20%, pa youtuberi, tiktokeri, web stranice. Na trećem mjestu sa 18% nastavnici i isto toliko procenata prijatelji. To je ono kad kažu, a na koji ćeš ti faks, pravo, super, idem i ja s tobom. No da li svi ovi izvori informacija zaista otkrivaju ovu temu i daju najkorisnije informacije za vaš karijerni razvoj? Vrlo teško.
Trebalo bi ovo, trebalo bi ono, 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 trebalo bi ovo, trebalo bi ono,
To thrive in that world, I think the skills that matter are deep familiarity with the tools and staying abreast of changes and just working with them very closely to develop a great intuition for where things are going and how to make use of it. Resilience, a very ability to learn new things fast and adapt to them and sort of evolve yourself with the technology. But those are the kind of skills that I think are going to be very much rewarded. The one of the predictions I'm most confident about the future is it's just going to happen much faster than the past did.
Schools are preparing kids for jobs that just won't exist. By the time they graduate, accountant, lawyers, even doctors, those might not even be jobs that exist. Schools teach skills that were relevant and created for the 90s. And you look in the last 3 years, how much change has happened, and yet none of that has shown up in the education system. None of it has been thought through from a different lens of this world called AI. By the time they graduate, everything that they learn will probably be obsolete.
Top skill in today's world is agility, adaptability. It's not learning AI. It's not mastering algorithms. It's not this, it's not that. It's agility. The game has changed from a chess board to a squash court. The biggest skill in today's world is to constantly stand in the middle of the court and observe where the ball is going. Go hit that ball and don't relax. Get back to the center of the court and see where the ball is going to be next.
Children aren't being told to memorize things anymore. The ed tech companies are saying, why bother memorizing this? You can just find it out immediately. And yet they teach critical thinking classes. But how can you think critically if you don't know anything?
This has been at the heart of the culture war in education for 50 years. There's a kind of a progressive idea that, facts are regressive, teach them how to think. But a lot of research shows that the human mind is a pattern matcher. It is a neural network. You need to know a huge amount. You need lots and lots of patterns in order to think well. And I want to make a psychological distinction between two processes. One is called assimilation versus accommodation. Assimilation is you learn something new and you you assimilate it into an existing mental structure. So I could tell you about a new kind of bird with this, funny thing on its head. Say, oh, okay, now I know that. No change to your mental structures, just addition of one point. Accommodation is when you have to create new mental structures because the thing you're encountering doesn't fit. And this is what education really is about. This is what a great teacher can do. When we say, I took this course, it completely blew my mind. Or I took this book and my God, it just changed the way I think. What you're saying is, I had such an act of accommodation. Let me share, I'm so excited. Let me share with you how I now see the world, okay? That takes time. That's why a book is so powerful. With a book, you're sitting with the author, and over that time, you develop new mental structures. That's the hard part, and that's the great value add of education. What if you never consumed anything other than a 10-second video here or 1-minute video there, a little meme here? It doesn't add up. Lots of assimilation, you might know little bits, but no accommodation, no new mental structure.
Kriza znanja je kriza površnosti. Izgubili smo sposobnost dubokog mišljenja, fokusiranja. Na neki način, kao što to Kant kaže, razlozi i argumenti su prestali biti važni, emocionalno svrstavanje postaje puno bitnije, važnije kako ćete prodati neku priču. Ljudi su uvjereni da znaju sve, jer imaju te svoje knjižnice u rukama, imaju svoje mobitele, imaju pristup informacijama, ali to ne znači da uistinu znate. Mnogi ljudi postaju arogantni, vjeruju uistinu da znaju sve. Tako da živimo u jednom svijetu intelektualne arogancije, ideje gdje svatko vjeruje da može donijeti informiranu odluku, a bez da zapravo posveti tome neko znanje i učenje.
Treba ići u vrtić, treba ići u školu, treba naći posao, osigurat lovu, treba se oženiti, treba djecu rađati, pa se onda rastati, treba uspjeh raditi. Trebalo bi ovo, trebalo bi ono, trebalo bi ovo, trebalo bi ono, trebalo bi, trebalo, trebalo bi, trebalo, trebalo bi, trebalo, trebalo bi, trebalo. Treba mi odmora, treba mi vremena, treba mi, treba mi, treba mi, treba mi love mi, treba mi mira mi, treba mi, treba mi, treba mi odmora, odmora, treba mi vremena, treba mi, mira mi, mira mi. Trebalo bi ovo, trebalo bi ono.
All right, let's sit down and do some work. Work, 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 work. La na 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 na. Ratata na 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 na. All right, enough. Come on, sit down, dude. Focus. Focus.
Zašto današnja deca koji imaju više informacija nego ikada u roku od nekoliko sekundi mogu dobiti odgovore na većinu pitanja koje im padnu na pamet, imaju sve manje, kako stručnjaci kažu, i znanja i pažnje i koncentracije, i kako vratiti fokus na učenje, razviti kod dece i kreativnost i empatiju.
Ekrani su promenili jako puno toga. Dete ko gleda u ekran, idemo na video igricu, dete gleda video igricu i sad prođe jedan nivo, prođe drugi nivo, treći nivo, peti nivo. Šta se u mozgu dešava? Mozak je u fokusu, to je dopamin. Kada pređe nivo, mozak daje nagradu, bravo, prešli smo nivo, kada mu govori podsvesno, aktivira hormone sreće. I sad pazite, menjaju se dopamin, hormoni sreće, 5 puta za 5 minuta. I kada dete izađe odatle, njemu je sve dosadno. Kako da uči, kako da čita. I vraća se tamo da mu je prijatno, to je virtualni svijet. Ali sad imamo i dokaze, ne sad iz 10 godina, deca koji gledaju puno ekran, imaće smanjen hipokampus. A hipokampus je delom jednim naslednje i povezanje funkcionalno sa amigdalama, to je kontrola emocija. Kao da se smanjuje empatija. To će tek biti problem. Znači, smanjenje empatije, automatski povećanje vršnjačkog nasilja.
of American teenagers have formed a relationship with an AI companion. Can you imagine your first meaningful relationship is with an AI? Because here's what we know. The more time that you spend with something that doesn't demand anything of you, that never gets tired, that never needs to be nurtured, that never talks back, the less tolerance you have for the humans that do. And real intimacy, like going on dates, having sex, being in a relationship, it's messy. Awkward moments and uncomfortable, or you may stuff up and send the wrong text or say the wrong thing, and then you have to show up, apologize or forgive someone. There's so much friction. And that friction in intimacy, that's the feature. It's not a bug. That's where we build the muscles of human intimacy, where we learn empathy, communication, listening, patience. And with AI, that sort of building those muscles, it's gone. There's no workout. It's all easy, right? It's easy to meet an AI. It's easy to talk to an AI. It's easy to leave an AI. And when intimacy is that easy, I believe we lose something vital. And I'm not just talking about our tolerance for humans. I'm talking about our drive for growth, our ability to be uncomfortable and sit there in discomfort with someone and just sit in the muck, right? And work it out. Now, for future generations, how will they ever develop that capacity if they've never had to?
In terms
of salary expectations, Singapore is very expensive. So I don't blame them. I once had a Gen Z work for me. 1 month into the job, she requested for promotion. Every single catch-up after that, she kept on asking me for promotion.
Wanting to make very important decisions that involve millions of dollars, and it's like you're young and you're new. I think you need to demonstrate that you have exercised good judgment, but just because the expectations are unrealistic, it doesn't mean that they're not good workers.
No lah. I think it's lazy to call them lazy. What Gen Zers want is a boss that actually bothers to understand why they're disengaged.
Shulin's answer is perfect. I'm going to be lazy here and say, can we just copy your answer over?
Yes, absolutely.
Managing them is very, very difficult. The only way I knew how to manage them was based on what I learned on how I was being managed by the older generation.
They are just more easily upset when they receive negative feedback. They are more prone to take it personally, even though it's just business. I wish someone told me this when I was younger. Get a mentor and not be afraid to ask the mentor to give me unfiltered advice.
When you're starting out your career, there is value in sprinting as much as you can in the beginning to set some distance between yourself and other people, and then settle in the pace that's comfortable for you.
Upitana sam šta su prednosti rada sa generacijom Gen Z, a šta su izazovi. Ja bih rekla definitivno da su prednosti njihovo znanje tehnologija. Dakle, to su generacije koje su puno tehnološki pismenije. Ja pripadam milenijalcima, mi smo isto negdje s tim ok, ali Gen Z su tu puno bolji, oni odrastaju sa istima. Ono što su definitivno njihove prednosti jeste što se znaju zauzeti za sebe, traže svoj lični razvoj. Ono što također donose u tim jeste jedna nestrpljivost, žele da se stvari brzo dese. Rekla bih da su izazovi za generacije koje su starije, što jednostavno gledaju na ciljeve malo kratkoročnije, nemaju to strpljenje koje su imali starije generacije. Generacije koje su nešto starije od njih, s kojim sarađuju, vrlo često vide kao izazov njihovu neposvećenost. Međutim, oni nisu posvećeni, vrlo često su neshvaćeni. S njima treba poseban dijalog, treba inicirati konverzaciju, treba održavati konverzaciju i dijalog. Ako se prepuste samim sebi, ako nemamo kontakt sa njima, oni vrlo rijetko odustanu jer se osjećaju neprihvaćenim, osjećaju da ne pripadaju okruženju i vrlo često napuštaju onda organizacije.
Ministarstvo civilnih poslova Bosne i Hercegovine djeluje kao most između različitih nivoa vlasti, međunarodnih partnera i institucija koji rade za dobrobit mladih, te kroz svoju koordinacijsku ulogu je pokretač povezivanja politika obrazovanja, zapošljavanja i socijalne uključenosti. Naša uloga nije samo koordinacija politika, već i stvaranje prostora za zajedničko djelovanje svih aktera koji mogu unaprijediti položaj mladih, te osigurati da svaki mladi čovjek u Bosni i Hercegovini dobije priliku za pravovremeno zaposlenje, nastavak obrazovanja, pripravništvo ili obuku. Evropski put Bosne i Hercegovine podrazumijeva veće mogućnosti za mlade, kvalitetnije obrazovanje i snažnije povezivanje sa tržištem rada. Kroz garanciju za mlade gradimo sistem u kojem podrška mladima nije projekt, nego trajna politika. Cilj nije samo smanjiti nezaposlenost mladih, već povećati kvalitet prilika koji im omogućavaju dostojanstven rad i profesionalni razvoj.
Dakle, uloga zavoda je i službi naravno u tome da damo maksimalnu podršku mladima i omogućimo im da dođu na tržište rada. Dakle, mi kroz naše programe koje provodimo zajedno sa službama smo ponosni u tom dijelu na ishod tih programa, da je oko 50% mladih kroz naše programe dobilo mogućnost zaposliti se na način da odrade ili pripravništvo ili da uđu na tržište rada na duži period. A što se tiče izazova koje imamo danas na tržištu rada, jedan od ključnih problema je usklađenost ili neusklađenost tržišta rada s obrazovnim sustavom. Dakle, to je jedno pitanje koje se mora rješavati kroz sinergiju različitih sektora u smislu planiranja i zbog tehnološkog napretka koji ide galopirajućim tempom treba gotovo predvidjeti šta će u budućnosti trebati. Dakle, ono što trebamo danas, pitanje je hoće li trebati za 5 godina, hoće li trebati za 3 godine ili neki duži period, i u tom dijelu uistinu se treba sa drugim obrazovnim institucijama, sa strateškim planiranjima pronaći kako doći do potpune usklađenosti onog što obrazovni sustav obrazuje, a tržište rada traži.